Hello, everyone. I'm Osamu Sudo, a member of GPAI and also the chair of the Conference on Social Principles of Human-Centered AI in the Cabinet Office and the chair of Conference toward the AI Network Society in the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications belonging to the Japanese government. This short side event titled AI Governance and Foundation Models with Multi-Stakeholders aims to contribute to steady development of AI and GPAI's various projects. First, I'd like you to listen to the speech on Google's commitment of AI governance by Mr. James Manika, Senior Vice President of Google. Secondly, I'd like to talk about consideration of social principles of human-centered AI by the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, the Japanese government. Finally, I will shortly refer to the crucial trend in AI, so-called foundation models and governance by multi-stakeholders. Well, I'd like you to watch a video that Mr. James Manika talks about for around 8 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with all of you today. I would also like to thank the Japanese government and Professor Sudo for hosting such an important summit. My name is James Manika. I'm the Senior Vice President for Technology and Society at Google. This is a new function designed to connect research, people, and ideas across Google and Alphabet to shape our most advanced, ambitious innovations, including AI, as well as initiatives that benefit people and impact society for the better, and also to make sure we do this responsibly. I see a lot of commonalities between this body of work and the mission of the Global Partnership on AI. At Google, we believe GPAI plays a unique and important role with its focus on the OECD's recommendations on AI and on international collaborations on research and in AI applications. That's why Google has been an enthusiastic participant in GPAI initiatives since the first summit in 2020 through participating in working groups and also in today's summit here in Tokyo. At Google, we believe AI presents tremendous potential to tackle a large array of opportunities and challenges, including economic opportunities, industrial, as well as even some of our most intractable societal problems and most promising opportunities. But in order to realize these positive benefits, we must also acknowledge and address the challenges and risks that come with AI. To do that effectively requires the type of collaboration and partnership that GPAI fosters and encourages. But first, let me speak to the potential of AI. For businesses and other organizations, AI is improving supply chains and operations. It's creating more accurate forecasts and improving planning. It is also assisting in the creation of new and innovative products and services for people and organizations everywhere. In semiconductor production, for example, AI is being used to create more efficient chip designs at a faster pace, opening up new compute possibilities in this increasingly digital world. All of this contributes to increasing productivity and stoking economic growth and prosperity everywhere. Perhaps even more exciting is what AI is making possible to benefit society as a whole. In biology and health, our team at DeepMind developed AlphaFold, which solved a 50-year grand challenge to predict protein structures. Earlier this year, this led to us being able to predict the structure of all known proteins, 200 million of them, and we've open sourced the database of proteins, and now over 500,000 biologists have access to them to accelerate their work on drug discovery, treatment, development of therapies, and to tackle many neglected diseases. In an example close to home for some of you, we've seen very encouraging progress on a partnership with Japan's Ariake Cancer Institute on developing a computer vision model to improve the detection of early-stage breast cancer. Our hope is that this technology and others like it will eventually help nearly 100,000 women in Japan who are diagnosed with breast cancer each year, and many more globally. Many of you may have used Google Translate already, but we're already seeing exciting additional developments around language and accessibility, such as Google's Project Euphonia, which is using AI research to improve speech recognition, and training such models with recordings of non-standard speech will make communication easier for people who have impaired speech caused by ALS, Parkinson's disease, or Down syndrome. Earlier this month, Google announced the 1,000 Language Initiative. This is a long-term research project to make the world's 1,000 most used languages more accessible to people everywhere. As you can probably tell, I'm excited about what AI is making possible and about the potential that lies ahead for AI to help us tackle major societal problems and opportunities. However, as with any emerging and transformational technology, AI carries significant challenges and complications, as well as risks, and we must acknowledge and address these if we're going to get the benefits from them. For me, these risks and challenges tend to fall in a few categories. First, there's the situation when AI doesn't work as intended and results in issues that range from bias or toxicity or even safety concerns. Second are issues related to use and misuse. And this is even when the technology works well. And the kind of misuse we're talking about includes the misuse of data that impacts issues like privacy, as well as issues when AI is used inappropriately and leads to harmful impacts on people. Third are typically what might be considered unintended consequences. And that's where you see the potential for second-order effects, such as in the labor markets, that we may only discover much later when these start to impact how people work. And it's important to think through the kinds of incentives that we as society create for ourselves as we develop and deploy AI. So we don't put these tools and these capabilities out too early when they're not quite ready and we haven't done enough research or work to fully understand them and adequately address the challenges and risks that come with them. So it's fundamentally important that we get AI right. So what does that mean? We believe that there are two parts to this. The first part has to do with delivering on AI's potential to benefit people and society, and also and secondly, to mitigate the risks and the potential harms to society. We have to get both parts right. At Google, this means consistently prioritizing AI research and applications, as well as uses that benefit people and society. We deliver this through our products first and foremost, such as Maps and Google Lens or Google Translate and so forth. But in addition to this, much of delivering these benefits of AI inevitably involves deep partnerships. In our case, it includes our work with governments, such as in India and Bangladesh on flood forecasting, our work with the Japanese government in COVID-19 forecasting, as well as our partnership, for example, with the United Nations to assess and building damage in the wake of natural disasters and those sort of calamities. And in just a few months ago, I was at the United Nations General Assembly to announce a new commitment that we made, which includes $25 million in financial support, as well as expertise and other engineering and other resources to support NGOs and other social enterprises that are working to accelerate progress towards achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And when it comes to mitigating the risks, all of Google's work on AI is guided by our responsible AI principles, which prioritize beneficial uses and lay out also our commitment to develop these technologies responsibly and establishes specific areas of applications that we will not pursue, as well as those that we will pursue. However, it's not enough for any one company or even any one country to stick to principles such as these. Getting AI right is a collective and global challenge that we all must embrace. And by a collective challenge, this will include developers of the technology, users of the technology, as well as governments and civil society and communities that both benefit and also can be affected by AI. All of these have to be involved in the proper development and deployment of AI. And this is why multi-stakeholder initiatives such as GPAI are very important. In just a few years, GPAI has emerged as an example of the type of multi-stakeholder international collaboration that brings together diverse voices and creates useful resources that will help guide the responsible development of AI. I wanted to mention two recent examples of GPAI's work that have stood out for me. The first is the Data Governance Working Group research on the positive potential of using data trust as a mechanism for sharing data in several sustainability domains. This is a challenge that has come up repeatedly in conversations with governments and NGO leaders in the space, many of whom we've been in conversations with. Another example is the working group on the future of work and the work that it's been doing, which is very interesting and an important area of doing field research to document what the uses of AI actually look like in diverse workplaces, from food production facilities to medical offices. And as GPAI marks another successful year through the summit, I'm eager to hear more about the kind of additional recommendations and research across all of the 4 working groups. We at Google are proud to continue to support this work and are grateful to all the GPAI members and participants who are driving this work forward. Thank you very much for all the work you do, and congratulations, and we wish you more progress as you pursue the work that GPAI does. Thank you.
Nice presentation. I would like you to listen to another video, please. Wait for a minute.
You know, the real world is pretty amazing. It's certainly looking that way to me right now. It's so good to be back in Shoreline, and I can tell you're all enjoying it too. It's important we design in a way that is built for the real world and doesn't take you away from it. And AR gives us new ways to accomplish this. Let's take language as an example. Language is just so fundamental to connecting with one another. Yet, understanding someone who speaks a different language or trying to follow a conversation, if you're deaf or hard of hearing, can be a real challenge. Let's see what happens when we take our advancements in translation and transcription and deliver them in your line of sight in one of the early prototypes we've been testing. Take a look.
My mother speaks Mandarin, and I speak English, which is a strange thing.
他讲英文我可以听得懂，可是有时候我讲不来嘛。
We'd love to be able to share with you a new prototype we've been working on. You should be seeing what I'm saying, just transcribed for you in real time, kind of like subtitles for the world.
What we're working on is technology that enables us to break down language barriers, taking years of research in Google Translate and bringing that to classes.
You see me? Oh, sí, sí te veo. I'm actually looking straight into your eyes, and it seems like you're looking right at me. Oh, sí, sí, estoy viendo lo que estás diciendo para ayudarte.
Making access to information just instant and intuitive. By doing that, technology fades into the background, and we're more connected with the people and the things around us. Giving people the gift of communicating with anyone, no matter what language they speak, I think is a really powerful thing.
Que tengo que dialogar con muchas personas que solamente hablan inglés. Como magia para mí, porque voy a ver cosas que voy a entender lo que ellos dicen por completo y...
Yes, 可以互相沟通。我爱你。
I will return to my presentation. And excuse me. Well, I'd like to refer to James' speech and Sundar Pichai presentation. Google continues to boldly tackle many social issues, such as medical care, disasters, etc., and has achieved many achievements. In doing so, Google continued. In doing so, Google has deep insight into how AI should be and has a stance of working to solve problems in development and deployment. In order to solve these problems, Google is strongly aware of collaboration with multi-stakeholders from global perspectives. And Google is particularly focused on GPAI's effort and significance. I strongly hope that Google will continue to deepen exchange with GPAI and co-create new paradigms together. Thank you, James, for very informative and meaning speech for GPAI. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude. Next, I'd like to think about example of initiatives regarding the social principles of human-centered AI in Japan. The conference toward AI Network Society in the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications formulated AI R&D guidelines in 2017 and AI utilization guidelines in 2019. I'm the chair of this conference. We have discussed with Japanese companies and experts on the safe, secure, and trustworthy implementation of AI and have compiled the efforts of business entities into best practices and shared them widely. This year, in addition to that, we compared AI R&D guideline and AI utilization guidelines with domestic and overseas principles and guidelines, as well as examples of efforts in Japan, and reviewed both guidelines. This table compares with, the values stated in our guideline with the values in other countries. The 16 values shown in black in the upper left and the items in our guidelines. And 6 values shown in red in the upper right are new values that are included in foreign guidelines, but not in our guidelines. Please see the table. The value in our guidelines: human-centered, education and literacy, and collaboration with among AI systems are rarely seen overseas. On the other hand, values such as robustness, responsibility, traceability, and monitoring and editing are not included in our guidelines, but are included in overseas guidelines. I'm sure that monitoring and editing is very, very inclusive. I'm sorry, our guideline cannot include these items. Transparency, sustainability, whereas equity, removal of discrimination, accountability, and human dignity is very, very important in all regions. Next, this table shows how many Japanese companies adopt how many values from the 22 values, most of their documents, and based on our guidelines. And the values described in overseas guidelines and also included. This implies that Japanese private companies are working from the same perspectives as foreign governments and companies. I'd like to refer to recommendation in this report regarding AI ethics and governance. Although we have not made a decision, it is maybe necessary to study the revision of AI RN guidelines and AI utilization guideline based on new values. Both guidelines are examples of efforts by private companies based on guidelines should continue to be disseminated. Regarding human resource development, I'm sure that noteworthy efforts of private business should be respected. If you have an interest, please check out the English version of summary of this report on the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication website. Next, I'd like to think about very important foundation models when considering the future of AI. The foundation models may be opened door from specific purpose AI to so-called general purpose AI, a more and more advanced AI. And very interesting researches are underway at Stanford University, MIT, Google, IBM, and so on. According to the authors, the paper titled on opportunities and risks of foundation models mentions a foundation model can centralize the information from all data from various modalities. This one model can be adapted to a wide range of downstream tasks. For example, as for foundation models in healthcare and biomedicine. According to the authors, they visualized all interactive framework for foundation models enable various tasks across healthcare and biomedicine when trained on multimodal data generated by various sources in the healthcare ecosystem. The first column, left side, first column lists several sources of data, including care providers, payers, universities, nonprofits, governments, pharma, wearable, and medical publications or forums. The second column shows several data modalities generated by the data sources. They include image, for example, chest X-rays, MRI images, CT scan image, etc. And videos such as ultrasounds, graphic of chemical compositions, tables for electronic health records, EHRs, text such as clinical notes, and genetic data. The third column visualized a foundation model trained on such data and applied to healthcare and biomedicine. Downstream tasks listed in the fourth column. This process can generate new data and new data that will further improve the foundation model. Hence, the bi-directional relation between the foundation models and the tasks. Regarding the field of education, the authors claim that foundation models and education could be trained on multi-data sources to learn the capabilities necessary for education and understanding of various subject matter and different educational techniques. These foundation models can be applied in general purpose way across a range of tasks and goals such as understanding students, assisting teachers, and generating educational content. According to the authors belonging to Human-Centered AI Institute of Stanford University, CRIP has also been shown to learn historical biases and conspiracy theories from its international social training data sets. As one example of learning historical bias, picture shows that CRIP assigns higher simplicity to housewife with an orange jumpsuit to a picture of astronauts aiding Collins. We have to keep deep attention to the explainability and transparency for the evolution of general AI. The world is undergoing rapid digital transformation with complex interaction such as AI, quantum technologies, sustainable transformation, green transformation, metaverse with XR, and Web3 with blockchain. We must envision responsible AI development and governance together with GPAI through multi-stakeholder collaboration. I'd like to ask for the cooperation of everyone participating today in person and online. I'm sure some of you have questions and comments. If you can let us know by email. We would like to reply to you later. Well, this short side event is finished. Thank you all so much for your attention. I have no time. I'm sorry. I would like you to send me and Mr. James email, please. Thank you so much.